Yeah, man, what's up, man? This is Sports State of Mind, episode 109. I'm your host, Snipes KB. In this episode, we are going to be talking about, arguably for me, I think it's the best division in football right now. We got the NFC North. And in this episode, I have two returning guests and one first-time guest. Let me start off with the returning guest. The first guest, I've known this guy his whole life. This is my little brother. He is a Baltimore Ravens fan. I'd like to welcome Nique to the podcast. What's good, man?
What's going on, man? The true kings of the North are back.
Oh! All right, so this person, he actually was my second guest on the podcast way back in like 2015. Welcome him to the podcast for the second time. Let me welcome the Cincinnati Bengals fan, Will. What's good, man?
Hey, what's up?
All right, so this fan this next person, back when I thought that I could play football, back in Walker's Mill a long time ago, when really I wasn't shit when it came down to football, but he was definitely a great coach that especially spoke his mind. He didn't matter who you were. But one thing I do know that he is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'd like to welcome to the podcast, Coach Maraday. What's good, man?
What's happening, fellas? Everybody good?
Everyone is good. Yeah, man. Everyone is good. So, Coach Maraday, since this is your first time on the podcast, I like to go through this for my first-time guest. I have 3 questions for you. Those questions are, what sports do you play? What teams do you like? And explain why you're a fan of those teams.
Currently, I play absolutely no sports, but growing up, I played a little bit of everything. Football is my number one.
Okay.
You know, it always has been. I do like the contact and speed of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, I've always had fun playing baseball too, and they speed up the game now, so it's a little more fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, my team is the Steelers. I'm a Pittsburgh guy by heart. Lived in Maryland for the last 25 years, but I always say you can take the man out of the bird, but you cannot take the bird out of the man.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, you are so Pittsburgh right now that you at a Pittsburgh Pirates game right now, as we are.
Yeah. I'm literally right outside the stadium.
I definitely do appreciate the dedication. So since you have mentioned that you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, it is only right for me to quiz how much of a Steelers fan you are. I have a game called The Name of High. My name is. This right here would test how much of a Pittsburgh Steelers fan you are. Now, this game, if you get to who I am talking about midway through, just allow me to finish so that way the people that are listening have a chance to guess who it is. So, all right. You ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. I was undrafted in the 2004 draft coming out of North Carolina. I played in the NFL for a total of 6 years. Most of them was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was on the Washington Redskins practice squad. In my first NFL career start, I ran a total of 161 yards and 1 TD with a long 45-yard game versus the Tennessee Titans. I have, in my whole entire career, I made it to 2 Pro Bowls, one in 2006 and one in 2007, and I have won 2 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers, both one against the Seattle Seahawks and the other versus the Arizona Cardinals. Hi, my name is?
Ask Willie Parker.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. That guy was the truth for those 6 years. Well, really 4 years. Really. That was the easy one.
Yeah, he could run. He was I like to think that he was part of that newfound, like, multi-back thing that they do in the
Oh
NFL
yeah, yeah,
today,
yeah.
and that's why they don't pay running backs. He was part of that. Him and Bettis
Oh
in the
yeah.
backfield for that first Super Bowl they won with
Hmm.
him. That was whew.
Yeah. I remember that first game, when he went off in fantasy. I know everyone was putting it, everyone was trying to pick him up that
Oh
week.
hell yeah.
That week. All right. So now, since this is episode 109, let's see if we can name at least 1 to 3 athletes from any sport that have wore the number 9. Um, Coach Meraday, since you are a first-time guest, I'm gonna let you go ahead first, and then Nique, and then Wilbur, and then myself.
I'm gonna go Gordie Howe,
Mm.
probably next to Wayne Gretzky, the all-time great in hockey. He wore number 9.
Hmm. Is that it?
I'll have to go with.
Yeah. I mean, I could run off,
Yeah,
you know,
go
Will's boy Joe Burrow. I have
ahead.
Will's boy Joe Burrow too. I mean, I'm not going to tell Will this, but Joe Burrow is probably my number 2 as far as quarterbacks in the league.
Ooh, okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I think he's legit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Number 9, Joe
Joe
Burrow.
Burrow. Okay. All right, Nique.
Yeah.
Nique, how about you?
For me, I would say the real GOAT, number 9, Justin Tucker. Uh, and then I guess Drew Brees,
Mm. Hmm.
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think that's it for me.
Okay. All right. So let me go down my list. Let me go with Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, when he played for the A's and the Baltimore Orioles. He wore number 9. Dwayne Wade wore number 9 when he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tony Parker wore number 9 with the San Antonio Spurs. Gilbert Arenas wore number 9 his second stint with the Washington Wizards. My man Luol Deng wore number 9 with the Chicago Bulls. Stephon Gilmore wore number 9 with the Carolina Panthers when he went there a couple of years ago. Joe Tryoff Shoyanka, who plays for my Bucks. Hopefully, he can have a breakout year this season. Tony Romo wore number 9 with the Dallas Cowboys, and Jeff Garcia
It's my guy.
wore number 9 with the Eagles in his second stint with them. And Steve McNair. We were talking about it earlier that we forgot to bring up. Steve McNair, rest in peace, wore a number 9. All right. So let's go right into it. Will, it is almost your time to talk, but let me run down some things about this this AFC North champs. We talk about these Cincinnati Bengals. They had a record of 12-4. Of course, one of the games ended pretty early from what happened on that primetime game. Bengals last year were the 8th offense in the league last year, number 3 in passing, number 16 when it comes down to total defense. They lost in the AFC Championship. They pretty much have the best wide receiver group in the league. Who knows how long that this group can stay together? Because contracts is definitely going to be a problem with Burrows coming up and Higgins and then eventually Chase. And you guys lost pretty much both of your safeties last year. I don't know how this defense is going to act, but before I even say anything else, Will, I want to give you 1 minute uninterrupted for you to talk your shit about your squad, and let me know when you are ready.
Yeah, ready.
All right, let's start this.
So with Cincinnati, unfortunately, we did lose to the referees last year in the AFC Championship game. We are going to be coming back again strong. As tough as the division is that we're in, it's probably one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL. We're just going to have to grind it out. We have some guys that left, but we've been knowing that we're going to probably lose them for the last few years. So we've been recruiting well, especially in the draft as well, getting younger. Uh, and when it comes to trying to keep our receivers and everybody else, we've been making deals. I mean, Joe Mixon, just the most recent one, for example. But Joe Burrow is going to get paid. but he is not money hungry. And so he's going to make sure that he structures it if he needs to in a way that he can keep some of these guys, because he's all about winning, and that's what he wants to do. So that's what we're looking to do. So I can't
Time,
wait for the season to
time,
start.
time, time, time. So this is the part of the show with if you guys got any questions or if you want to attack Will, this is it.
Oh gosh.
The Bengals are a good team, but they're just one of those teams where they're one injury away at any position to not be good anymore. So, like, they're a real tricky team. And, like, they lost a lot at safety, one of the best free safeties in the league and one of the best covering strong safeties. So that's going to take a lot away from their defense. The only thing keeping them alive right now is Joe Burrow. And at what point, how long is Joe Burrow going to stay healthy? That's my only question.
Yeah.
I mean,
My question is when is Burrow coming back?
they said Burrow said that he's coming back by week 1, and I mean, I mean, that's what he says. I mean, if he does come back, for week 1, I think it's one of those things where he doesn't really have to rush back. Like unless
Yeah,
you're.
he does.
I mean, why? Why do you have to rush back?
Who's their second quarterback?
I understand, but it's
It doesn't matter. We can put the water boy in there.
Nah,
With our offense, it's too high powered.
nah. And
We can make it
that
work.
has been proven
We,
nonstop that Joe Burrow is that offense. If Joe Burrow goes down, that entire offense is going down.
but
There's you got
against the Browns, we can make it work for a week against the
We'll
Browns.
definitely make it work for that first week. I know Jamar
I mean, yeah,
Chase
it's
told
just
him.
the
Yeah.
Browns.
Jamar Chase told him, "Hey, go ahead and sit out the first month or whatever. Get yourself completely healed." And I think if he comes back and he's not completely healed, he's putting himself in a world of hurt because the next time he gets dinged up, he's going to be out for a lot longer.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
my take.
True.
it's
And
one of those.
he's playing some pass rushers too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's playing some pass rushes during that whole division. To be honest with you, so I don't
Yeah,
think I don't think it really matters because unless you have the number 1 seed in the AFC, it doesn't matter if you're number 2, number 3, number 4, or 5 because you're going to be playing against some dog from it don't matter. So unless he's trying to get that number 1 seed and he's trying to get that week off, it really doesn't matter when it comes down to the AFC time. When it comes down to
you got to
playoffs,
be at
because
home in the AFC.
it doesn't matter if you're
So
home.
last year, yeah, last year it took a while because he had that surgery in the off season, so he didn't really get to do the OTAs and the preseason stuff. And he came out slow the first few weeks last year. Um, every year we have some injuries. Chase was injured. We dealt with it. Burrow is key to our offense, of course, as most quarterbacks are. So that's why we kind of invested in that line. Hopefully, we see how that works and should be well. But I think week 1, I mean, I think he'll play. Hopefully, he'll stay on his feet. It's a calf strain, so those can be tricky. And we'll have to see how it
He
goes.
stays in the pocket anyway too. And plus you guys signed what's that tackle that used to play for the Ravens? Who used to play for y'all, Nique, and he
Orlando
played for the
Brown.
Chiefs?
Orlando Brown.
Orlando
Orlando
Brown. You
Brown.
guys
Orlando Brown
signed
Jr.
him too. So and you guys took Alex Kappa from my Bucks a couple of years ago. So I think the whole line is definitely coming along. And plus, it's not like he scrambles too much. He stays in the pocket, a lot of the time. So who knows? Who knows? But Vegas right now has you guys 11 and a half. And before we even do the over and under, I want to read this schedule before you decide. Give me a second. All right. So Bengals schedule. Week 1, you are at Cleveland. Week 2, you're home versus the Ravens. Week 3, you are home versus the Rams. Week 4, you are at Tennessee. Week 5, you are at Arizona. Week 6, you're home versus the Seahawks. Week 7 is a bye week. Week 8 is at San Fran. Week 9 is home versus the Bills. Week 10, home versus the Texans. Week 11, away versus the Ravens, week 12, home versus the Steelers, week 13, at Jacksonville, 14, home versus the Colts, week 15, home versus the Vikings, week 16, at Pittsburgh, week 17, at Kansas City, week 18, home versus the Browns.
That is a schedule.
Yeah, it is.
Man,
That is. That is.
Your
they
season's going to be
deserve it.
made. Your season's going to be made week 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah.
To tell you the
Yeah,
truth, if you start,
I think we can make it to the preseason undefeated.
I think it's the first 4 weeks.
Up to the, I think through the bye week. I think up to the bye week we can become undefeated. It's going to be a couple hard games after the bye week that is going to come in, and like they said, Bills, Jags, Kansas City, all those games are going to be tough. San Francisco, but we do have a few in there that should be gimmies. So we'll see how it goes. But
I mean,
up to the bye week, I think we can make a roll.
if you're honestly looking at the schedule, week 1 through 6, if you talk about gimmies, I can give you the Rams, I can give you the Cardinals, but when you're talking about Browns, please don't sleep on the Browns, Ravens, Texans,
Don't you dare
Titans,
sleep on them Ravens.
and the Seahawks too. The Seahawks is pretty, like, I don't know, man. So you're saying from Vegas's 11.5, you have you guys going over, or do you have yourself going under?
What was our record last year?
12.
We had 12, right?
12 before.
And that's with a Joe Burrow that didn't make a whole preseason last year. So we lost a few of the first games that we should have won easily off of field goal kicker getting injured. I mean, the holder getting injured, which that should have been a gimme against Pittsburgh. But look, all the way to the bye week, there ain't no game in there that I'm afraid of.
Mm.
We've beaten every single one of those teams,
Ooh,
and we'll do it again.
Your shit.
That's real tough. That's
I mean, we could have went 14 last year if Joe Burrow didn't have to get that surgery in the preseason.
The thing.
So I'm
that's
just saying.
The thing with you brand new winners. You guys don't know how to win. So you say like if. So I can say if Lamar played, then the Bengals would have never gotten to the championship. I can say if
you got to tell Lamar to play.
Our second string quarterback didn't hold Joe Burrow to the fourth quarter, then come on. If you Bengals fans live by if, not by like reality. By reality, Joe Burrow is good, but he just doesn't do enough.
He does over enough. I mean, that's the problem. Lamar could have played, but he chose to sit out and leave his team stranded.
No.
So,
or
I mean,
Lamar was
we
hurt.
can only play who steps on the field. No, not in the playoffs.
When you guys step on the field,
we can only play who steps on the field.
When you guys step on the field, you can barely beat our second string Pro Bowl quarterback who made it to the Pro Bowl because of you guys.
A win.
Thank you.
Yeah, because he's not bad. Pro Bowl. Hey, a win's a win.
We'll see, because you guys definitely played week 2. So, Nique, do you have the Bengals over or under 11.5 for the win for this season?
I say over 11.5.
I got them under. I got them at 10 wins this year, and I'm going to tell you why I got them at 10 wins. First of all, they've been pretty healthy other than, losing a couple guys here and there along the way. Second of all, people are going to be laying for them. And once you become a winner, people prepare and play you a little bit different. And the way that schedule shakes out, I mean, if they don't come out of the gates and get those wins that they should get, the Cleveland win and all those games, and you get behind the 8 ball in the AFC North, it's hard to crawl your way back into it. That's just how I see it. But let me just say this. I think you can't compare Burrow and Lamar Jackson at all.
That's a fact.
Uh,
Like, you can't. You want to compare Burrow to somebody in our division, you can compare Pickett to him because they're the same style quarterback for the most part. But Jackson is multidimensional. You're not getting that from Burrow or Pickett. They can run if they need to, but they're not running quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess.
Right, that's true.
I can see that. So all right. So see, because I feel like this division, I feel like it's going to be a dogfight.
It
I
is.
honestly would not. I cannot tell you who's going to win the division. I know the Bengals are the favorite. I know the Ravens are the favorite. But then at the same time, you know the Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to have a losing record. Cleveland Browns, people are sleeping on them. So I will have to agree with Coach. I probably would have to go with the under because you know you guys could easily split the season series with every team. And just based off that, you just never know. So I definitely do have them going under because I do like the games that I can see just off top, just the Rams, Cardinals, Texans, but the Texans defense is pretty nice. Um, those are the three games, and the Colts. Those are the four games that I can easily see you winning. But these other games, versus the Browns, the Titans, the Seahawks, the Niners, the
The Titans,
hey,
the
Yes, the
hey,
Titans,
Titans.
the
Are you
Titans,
joking? The
the
Titans.
Titans.
Yes, the Titans. The
Oh
Titans are
no,
Titans
back to
last
being the
year
Titans. Stop sitting here and tripping like they're not
they
back.
had
They have
injuries
D Hop.
last year. They had injuries
Come on,
last year,
dog.
and they were definitely the number one seed just 2 years ago, and then they had injuries last year, and they almost made it to the
and what
play.
they
They
do?
almost made it to the playoffs. They almost made it to the playoffs, honestly. And um, you got the Steelers, you got the Jags, you got the Vikings, you got the Chiefs. You know, those are games that I'm like juggling. So I definitely have you guys with the under this year. Bengals are still going to be nice, but I definitely have them with the under. So you think, um, uh, before I start, so Will, so you got your Bengals winning it all this year? Because you seem pretty high on them.
Yeah, every year that's the goal.
But do
That's
you
the goal. If
see
you don't
them
win it
winning
all,
it
then
all? I understand that's the goal.
oh yeah, I think we can. I mean, we brought everybody back that
You
we
didn't
need
bring
to
everybody back.
on
Samari Piron is
offense,
gone.
and on defense,
That's a huge
it's
part of your
okay.
offense.
He did really well with us. He did good, but we still got Joe Mixon,
When
and
he's healthy.
we got depth. Um, our receiving core is nasty. We have our improved line, so we're gonna go. I mean, we go toe to toe with Kansas City every year, so that's what our goal is.
Okay. All right. Here I go. So let me go ahead and start this. So
Who's
all
next?
right. So now that we're done with the Bengals, of course I'm gonna go to the next team in who finished second in that division last year. We're gonna talk about these Baltimore Ravens. They finished the season last year 10-7. As we all know, Lamar Jackson got hurt midway through the season and was unable to finish the season, but they still they were ranked 16th in total offense, number two in total in rushing. They were 30th when it came down to passing. I really, made sure I said that because this whole conversation is going to change in a bit. And their defense was a top 10 defense, number nine. And they traded for Roquan Smith in the middle of the season. Now they have him for a full season. They lost last year to the Cincinnati Bengals, who they in the playoffs. Offense right now is completely looking different. They reamped their receiving core a little bit. John Harbaugh is definitely on, the hot seat right now. Ravens is looking pretty good in a certain way, but before I even start, Nique, I'm gonna give you 1 minute uninterrupted to talk your shit about your Ravens. When you're ready, let me know.
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
John Harbaugh's not on the hot seat. It's a top 10 coach in the league, so he's staying. Uh, but the Ravens, we look good. It's just the thing about us is just injuries. So we got rid of our biggest cancer, which was our training staff. So as of right now, if these Ravens stay healthy, there's not a soul in the division that can touch us. Uh, the only downfall about the Ravens is our corners. That's something that's always been a problem for the Ravens. So I'm used to that. But the way our line is supposed to work this year, I don't really see that as being much of a problem. So there's not really many teams I'm worried about in the division. Just really the Bengals, Steelers are going to be tough. The Browns are always going to be the Browns. Um, but other than that, I feel like Ravens should win it all this year. That's it.
That's it. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So just as much as you was going on Will, you're saying the same shit that he was saying. It's just a different way right now. You know that, right?
Nah, it's not.
So my question for the Ravens, I'm not even gonna go into offense. The offense, we will eventually get there. This
Hmm.
division pretty much is known for defense. I mean, and now they're starting to morph their way into the offense. And who is rushing off the edge for y'all? Because you guys normally have someone coming off the edge doing, like who is that one guy for y'all for this year?
We have David Njabo. We also have Tyus Bowser, Jadavion Clowney, which I'm not really a big fan of him, but him coming off I guess, the pass rush would help on the inside. And Nique is in there. We also have Travis Jones that's in the middle. So we're stacked there, but it's just the same thing as everybody's full of potential. Nobody's done it yet. So we're just waiting on everybody to do it.
Okay. Okay, Will, do you have anything to say to Nique or Coach?
Oh, I got something to say.
Uh,
Go ahead, Will.
Go ahead, Coach.
I just wonder. I'm just wondering. But no, I mean, Baltimore is always that team that you don't really want to play because they are a tough team. So we give respect to that. Defensively, they're always tough. But what they do lack is the corners, and they're always suspect at that deep ball or any of the corners, and even sometimes the safeties. Ever since Ed Reed's gone, um, and then the receiving core, can Lamar get the ball to them? Lamar is fantastic; he's electric, but his excuses before that he had no receivers. This year he's getting an older, much bigger Odell Beckham, so we don't know how he's going to look. And I'm a huge Odell Beckham fan, so don't get me wrong, but we don't know if he still has it. Um, so that's going to be the things that I'm looking for to see if the receivers and the quarterback can get any type of connection. Because before it was only Mark Andrews. So we'll see how it goes.
I always kind of felt like they could shore up that secondary pretty well. I'm not sold on Kyle Hamilton though. I didn't like him much at Notre Dame. I wasn't sold on what he did last year. He's a big, rangy body. I get it, but I don't know how much he likes contact. I mean, that's part of the game. I do like Roquan Smith. I thought that was an excellent pickup by them. That was a game changer for them, to be honest with you. And have him for a full season to lead that defense on that side of the ball. You named off like four dudes on the edge, and I'll even throw Clowney in on it. Like, no, yeah, no, they don't stand up to Miles Garrett or to T.J. Watt, and from that perspective, that's who you're fighting there. You're fighting the Steelers and the Browns in terms of those receivers or in terms of those edge guys. So I mean, my other thing is Lamar, and you're right. He's electric and he's fun as hell to watch. But if he gets hurt and you got to bring in Huntley again, it's okay. But he's not Lamar, you know. And,
Yeah.
and they're always up there at the top of the league in rushing because Lamar rushes for 1,000 yards a year. I mean, if you take him off the field and you just run the ball, are they still a top 10 rushing team? That's what I want to know. So
That
I
was
mean,
with our very
Yeah, I
trash
think
offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, who didn't really know what he was doing too much.
well,
But things are different
your guy's Gus
because like
Edwards.
everybody's overlooking Gus Edwards for some
That's
reason.
what I just
I
said. Your
don't I
guy's
don't
Gus
understand
Edwards.
why.
Your guy's Gus Edwards. I don't know if you heard me
Yeah,
say that. Yeah, that's your guy. It's not Dobbins. It's Gus Edwards.
it's
You look
not.
at
It's
you look
it's
at his
Gus
style of
Edwards.
running, and he brings more of a complete package there, in my opinion. Hey,
let him
Le'Veon's
start.
out there still. If y'all need another back, Le'Veon's out there.
Nah,
uh,
yeah.
Le'Veon,
No.
Le'Veon's probably gonna be in the XFL next year.
Oh, really?
He-
He did that to
that
himself.
boy,
I don't.
he fucked the money up
He's the one
himself.
that ruined.
He
He's the
fucked the
one that
money
ruined
up.
he ruined the running back market
But
himself.
Mark,
it's funny. It's funny you say that because nobody looked at it from that perspective, and now they're all bitching about it, saying, these guys need to get paid. Well, how come you weren't talking about Le'Veon getting paid? You know,
Yeah, he was supposed to get paid. Steelers were gonna pay him something. He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go somewhere else and get paid and just show you're nothing but a system." That's it.
Yeah, that's all he was. So, all right. So Ravens, okay. Offense is going to be different. Receivers. Now, the receivers, you got Odell, you got Flowers, you got Bateman, and of course Andrews. If one of those players were to get hurt, do you still feel like your passing game? Because last time when you guys got Odell, no, when you got Flowers, you said that the Ravens is going to be a top 5 offense. Do you still
I
believe
still
that?
say that. Yes, I still believe that.
Top
Yes.
five in the
we're
NFL.
top
That's what he said. Yeah, yeah,
we're top five in the
Oh,
NFC North or the
oh,
AFC North.
yeah.
oh my Lord.
Yes.
So
I mean, in all honesty, if Mark Andrews goes down like he did last year, I'll be surprised to see how they do. I mean, that's something that I'm gonna be looking at.
likely is good though.
They did well, okay,
if
but
if Mark
yeah, they did
if
well. They
Mark
did
Andrews
okay.
goes down, we have Isaiah Likely,
Yeah,
so
I
we're
love
still good
Likely.
there. If Zay Flowers goes down, we still
He's
have
good.
Devin Duvernay, who had a very great season last year, but people don't talk about him because he's Devin Duvernay.
Yep.
Um, so like we're set up for injuries at everywhere. Unlike all these other teams, we're set up for this. So if somebody goes down, it's
So
next man up, like it always is for the Ravens.
so Vegas, at least from the website that I gotten, they got you guys at 8.5. I'm not quite sure if I got I'm not quite sure, but hold on. Before you even say anything, let me go ahead down your schedule. So week 1, you're home versus the Texans. Week 2, you're at the Bengals. Week 3, you're home versus the Colts. Week 4, you are at Cleveland. Week 5, you are at Pittsburgh. Week 6, you are home versus the Texans. Week 7, home versus the Lions. Week 8, at the Cardinals. Week 9, home versus the Seahawks. Week 10, home versus the Browns. Week 11, home versus the Bengals. Week 12, away versus the Chargers. Yeah, you guys better have a bye week after those
That's
4
a
weeks.
dub.
Bye week after that. Then
Chargers are
you're
not as
home
good as
versus the
everybody thinks they
Rams.
are. I don't know why everybody thinks this.
You're home versus the Rams. And then you're at the Jaguars. You're home versus the Niners. You're home versus the Dolphins. And then you're home versus the Steelers. That's not an easy schedule, too.
Hmm.
That's a way to end the schedule, but 8 wins out of that's crazy. I'm at least 11 or 12, at least.
What's that? The next 2 seasons
Will?
combined?
Hey, that end of that schedule is going to be huge. I mean, that end of that schedule, Miami, whether you like the Chargers or not, Justin Herbert and them, those boys are bad. They're going to be coming for y'all. So that end of the schedule is going to be rough for you guys. Now, what you guys do the first half of the
Yeah.
season, that'll depend on what your record's going to be. But 8, I could see them going a little bit over 8, maybe 9.
9?
Ooh.
Come on.
Now,
Ooh.
honestly, it depends on Lamar Jackson. He just got paid. A
They
lot of
usually don't
times when
do.
people get paid, they
You're
don't
right.
show up the way they used to. I like Lamar, but is he going to be able to stay healthy? Is he going to be able to stay in the pocket? Or is he going to
People
go out
forget
and get
that
hit?
Greg
We don't know.
Roman was
So
his
it's up to
offensive
Lamar.
coordinator.
Oh, no, I get it. But I also get that he's a running quarterback and they don't last too long, especially in the AFC North.
We'll show you.
What you got him going, coach? What you got him going?
Who, me?
Over or under? Yeah.
I think they'll win 10 games. I think I don't sell the Chargers
Yeah.
short because the Chargers did some things this offseason to really build themselves up better. Um,
They didn't get better on defense at all.
no, and they lost a couple guys.
But
You're
they
right.
got one of
Their issue is always defense, and they did not get better there at all. Chargers are not a
They'll,
playoff team.
true,
they'll have to
We have to
true.
outscore
stop.
The
people.
Chargers Nah, but they still got Bosa and they still got Mac. Both of them were hurt last year. Hopefully, if both of them stay healthy,
Bosa's
both of them coming
always
off the
hurt.
edge,
When
we'll
is
And
see.
Bosa ever
But
healthy?
let's.
and then didn't they add Quentin Johnson? Did they
I
add
don't
Quentin
know.
Johnson?
I think they. Hold on.
I
Yeah.
believe
I
so.
think they
So go
did.
ahead
I
and throw
believe
him in
so.
that receive. Go ahead and throw him in that receiving core. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah, from TCU. Yeah,
yeah, that
but they're
makes
all the
Hmm.
same type of receivers. You got the same type of receivers. They're not different at all. They all do the exact same thing.
Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore had.
That's what they need,
Kellen
though.
Moore had the Dallas Cowboys offense looking like a top five offense when he was their offensive coordinator, and he had Dak Prescott as their quarterback.
And how many playoff wins did he have?
Come on,
yeah,
bro.
that's the problem.
It don't. He had Dak Prescott as his
Uh,
quarterback.
How many playoff wins
Okay.
did he have? Kellen Moore can be all
Dak
flashy and
Prescott.
all that, but he doesn't win when it counts. The Chargers just don't win.
Listen. Austin Eckler. I only know this because I just did the AFC West. He had 36 red zone touchdowns in the last 2
Yeah, Austin
years.
Eckler was a dog.
Kellen Moore is there. But anyway, before we even go off, so coach said that coach coach said that he had them going 10. Nique, I got the Ravens going how many?
I say 12.
I I definitely, I mean, just like I said, that division is tough. Um, I definitely do think winning that division could be 11 games, maybe even 10. I definitely have you guys going over 8. Definitely have you guys going over 8 because once again, the ifs are Lamar Jackson and Odell Beckham. Those are the big ifs. If I feel like if any of those two were to go down, of course, Andrews and other people too, but you can still make it through with Andrews, but if Lamar Jackson go down, Odell, especially
We still made the
with what he can
playoffs
bring to the squad, I
without
know,
Lamar.
you did, but the schedule is different.
Why is it always
The
different
schedule is
for the
different.
Ravens? It's
That's
always
last
different.
year.
Like, oh, if your backup quarterback makes the playoffs for you guys, he's still not good enough. He made the playoffs, and by the way, he's a Pro Bowler.
How many
Can
playoff wins does he have
can the
though?
Steelers say that?
yeah.
Do you guys have a Pro Bowler?
How many playoff wins does he have?
I don't think he has any.
How many wins does Lamar have in the playoffs though? I don't think it really
I
matters though,
think
right?
Lamar has like 2. How many wins does
Hmm.
Justin Herbert have in the
Okay.
playoffs? How many times has Justin
Okay.
Herbert missed the
Okay.
playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at that coach, though.
We had
Their
Greg
coach was
We
Roman.
horrible.
gotta see. We gotta see.
Their coach was,
We'll see. We'll see though.
yeah, but you guys are a running team.
We will see.
But nah, they're definitely going over 8.
Yeah, definitely have them going over 8 too. So next, all right, coach, this is your time. This is your time. Now we're going to talk about these Pittsburgh Steelers. Pretty much has not went under 500 in the record for a long ass time.
16
Big
years.
fan.
16 years. So it doesn't matter
Winners.
even if it's a good year or bad year. They're they're still going to be above or at least at 500. Last year, their offense is rated 12th. And their defense is rated 28th. Mike Tomlin, hopefully he can, continue his streak. Uh, Kenny Pickett is going into his second year. I feel like he is a solid quarterback for that team. I feel like, honestly, I'm not just saying it because you are on here, coach. I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers are the most underrated receiving group in the league. They got dogs at their receivers. For me, I think so.
Who?
I think so. Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Who are their
Honestly,
dogs at receiver?
they do.
Oh my God. You watch
Yeah,
football?
they have. But I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna leave that
We're talking about
conversation for
Kenny
coach.
Pickett, who only does
Coach,
it in practice. We talking about practice? This is practice.
Kenny
We
Pickett
hold
went
talking
on.
about
7-2
practice,
his
right?
last 9 games last year.
We talking about practice.
Did you miss the second half of the season, Kenny? Kenny Pickett went
Devon,
7-2.
And did he
It's a
make the
team
playoffs?
game. We didn't have to let Kenny Pickett's legs win games for us.
so, so coach, I'm gonna give you 60 seconds uninterrupted. And Nique, I'm telling you, he's coming
Oh,
in with his
I'm
shit.
ready.
Look at
I'm
he
ready for
Oh,
ready.
go ahead, load up.
He
You
ready.
better load up.
So
it.
I'm all right. So coach, I'm gonna give you 60 seconds uninterrupted for you to be able to talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers, and then afterwards, I'm pretty sure Nique is coming guns
Okay.
blazing. So whenever you're ready,
All
coach, go
right.
ahead.
So first of all, they moved on from the general manager, which was a huge, huge thing for them because Colbert was very reluctant in making his picks. He had some terrible drafts the last few years. Guys like Kendrick Green that are still in that camp should have never even been playing. Hell, that dude shouldn't even be in the XFL. But anyway, that was a big thing. And then they spent money this offseason. They took all that money that old ass Ben was making and they used it around the positions where they needed to fill in the holes. And they brought in people that fit the Steelers system. When you go back to what you said about Le'Veon Bell, he was a system running back. The Steelers are a system team. Guys don't leave the Steelers and go on anywhere else and show the ultimate success like guys do from other teams. So that's one of the pluses for them. Like I said, Kenny Pickett was 7-2 down the stretch. A second year with Kenny Pickett, having all the first team reps in camp is going to make a huge difference. He had a great offseason. He put on a lot of muscle. He works with a great quarterback coach.
Time.
Am I done?
Are
All right.
you?
Yep.
All
1 minute.
right.
I am pretty sure you probably had another minute in
Oh,
you.
probably 5 minutes.
Definitely know that you could have said a little bit more. So this is when I open the floor for y'all to talk y'all shit as well. Will, Neek, whoever wants to go first.
You said Kenny Pickett got bigger like that does anything. Like, let's be honest. The Steelers have the worst quarterback in the division. Easily. Like, so you
That's
saying
true.
Kenny Pickett got better is not scaring us. That's just telling us the worst got a little bit better. Okay, we'll deal with that once we get there. When we talk about the Steelers now, we don't talk about your offense. We talk about your defense. And they're ranked 28th. I didn't even know that because if TJ Watt gets another owie, nothing is happening for you guys' defense. You guys, I think the Steelers kind of lost their way a little bit because the Steelers used to build through the draft. But lately, their draft picks, like you said, have been missing. So they have George Pickett, but I mean,
You mean
he
George
can do good in
Pickens?
practice. Whatever his name is, he's so
Yeah.
unnamed. I forget.
George Pickens,
No,
yeah,
trust
yeah.
me, you'll know his name week 5.
I I'm hoping he becomes like another Hines Ward to us because at some point Hines Ward was my favorite receiver, but I just don't see the way that he plays lasting anymore in this league.
Devontae Johnson is pretty good
Deontay
too.
Johnson?
He's always
Devontae
hurt.
Johnson is one of the.
No, he's not.
He's always hurt.
He's nice though.
He doesn't have an injury history. He didn't
He's
get in the
nice.
end zone last year, but he had 1,000 yards and 80
Yeah,
receptions.
yeah, yeah.
But he doesn't have an
Oh
injury
yeah,
He
history.
that's
did.
good. That you got all the yards, but you didn't score. The whole point of the game is to score, and he didn't do it.
But you talk. Now
So
wait a
listen,
minute. You
listen,
told me the
listen.
whole point of the game
Is
is
this the
defense.
sleeper though?
Is it scoring points or is it playing defense?
It's to score.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say the whole point of the game was defense.
Okay, go ahead.
Defense is more important.
Right.
Defense is more important. If you can't get
And
scored on, you can't
he
Allen
lose.
didn't
Robinson.
contribute to the
Allen
scoring.
That's what
Robinson is
it
there
is.
too. Allen Robinson is there.
So all I gotta say is I just gotta ask again. I just gotta ask. But I do think, surprisingly, I do think Pittsburgh's wide receiver core is better than the Ravens.
Where?
I honestly do, because I don't know what Odell's going to do. No one does. So until I can see it, then I might change my mind on it. But they do have some sleepers. Honestly, they do have some sleepers. Pickett is actually not as bad as I thought he was going to be, which was crazy. He handled himself well, but again, he is the worst out of the four, but he is the youngest out of the four. So he has a lot of time to keep going up. Uh, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. I mean, again, if TJ Watt can stay healthy, then that makes a whole difference. But if he can't, then they're gonna have some rough times. But they did invest, and just like you said, getting a new general manager, that's gonna help big time as well. So we'll see. I think they're going to
At
put
the
up
end
a
of the
bigger
day,
threat
they
than they
went
did
and
last
filled in.
year.
Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. Uh,
Oh, this is your team, coach. I know you. Go ahead. I'm sure I have
yeah,
a
yeah,
rebuttal
yeah. Go
based off
ahead,
of
go
what you
ahead.
said.
No, what I was going to say is one of the things that the GM did this year that hadn't been addressed in a long time was he added quality depth. He added quality depth, even at the outside linebacker spot. They brought in the outside linebacker from the Cardinals, who had he was their starter out there, and he walked. And they brought in Nick Herbig from Wisconsin, another Wisconsin kid, and he's had a great camp. So we'll see if those two guys can help them out there. They've replenished that linebacking core with Quan Alexander and what's his name, Cole.
I like Quan.
Yeah, and they brought in Landon Roberts from Miami. So I think he addressed a lot of things. I'm not going to hang my hat on them being the greatest, but I do think that they do take a giant step forward this year. My biggest concern with them this year is, and this should be with anybody who has an aging veteran who was a superstar, is will Cam take a step back this year? That's my biggest concern for them at this point. Because if he takes a step back, I don't know if they have another defensive lineman ready to go to fill his spot and produce like he does. Because Cam Hayward's legit. You can hate the Steelers all you want, but Cam Hayward is
Yeah,
legit.
yeah, yeah. Of course, of course. One of the best in the league, Nick. Go ahead, Nick. I can feel your
I
energy
just
right
want to
now.
ask,
You're about
like,
to say some shit.
right now, what's the difference between the Steelers receiving core and the Ravens' current receiving core? Because if you're judging off of Allen Robinson, a receiver who's always hurt and now coming back expected to do good, that's Odell. Um, if you're talking about a good number one receiver, just like Devontae Johnson, that's Bateman when he's healthy. If you're talking about like another receiver, that's Zay Flowers. So I think the Steelers receiving core and the Ravens receiving core both are C pluses right now. They're both easily the worst two, but this
We'll see.
not one is worse than the other at this moment. Other than that, like you said, if Cam Hayward takes a step down, that's gonna hurt. Because as much as I don't like him as a Steeler, you have to respect how great he is.
Yeah, of course.
So that's gonna hurt. Just like when T.J. Watt goes down, but just like them Watts go down with
Yeah,
age. So at some point, even though he's great, the Steelers gonna have to decide: is T.J. Watt really worth it? You can probably get more from him than out of him.
That's why they brought in depth this year.
yeah. Cause only. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he's he's no different than keep it at the Ravens base comparing players. He's no different than when Lamar Jackson when he gets hurt. As far as a big player does everything to have the team to win, and then he just has this consistent. Was it like a groin issue or something that he's
TJ
keeps
Watt,
having? Uh, why?
no, it was his pet.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. What is it, like a
yeah.
that
groin
was
or
his pick
something
No,
last
he
or
had
year.
a peck issue last year.
something? It's always something.
Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully he could if he does come back, that could help Vegas right now, which is let me see what Vegas has
Eight
you
and a
guys
half.
going. They got you guys going 8.5, which is also crazy too. So let's look at the schedule.
Why is that
I
crazy?
don't know, man, because I just feel like this division, I feel like any team can win it. I honestly do. Like I'm not just saying it
No,
just saying it. I feel like because the Steelers are always going to compete. They're always
that's
going to
all they
compete.
ever do
And
now is
if
compete.
the
They
records are
don't win; they just compete.
that's all you need.
That's it. And this isn't
That's
a
where it
division to
starts.
compete in. This is a division where you come and win. Bengals came in the last few years, smack everybody in the mouth, and say this is our division. Ravens are trying to come back. The Steelers, they're just there. Dude, Steelers right now are that little brother that's hitting you on the
So let's
leg.
see.
Like, hey, chill out. Let the big boys play up here.
So let's see what they so their schedule. Oof, it doesn't start off good. I'll tell you that right now. Week 1 you are home versus the San Francisco 49ers week 2. Home versus the Cleveland Browns week 3. You are at Las Vegas week 4. You are at Houston week 5. You are home versus the Ravens bye week. Then you're at the Rams, home versus the Jags, home versus the Texans, home versus the Packers, at Cleveland. You're at Bengals, home versus the Cardinals, home versus the Patriots, at the Colts, home versus the Bengals, at Seattle, and at Baltimore. That's not too
They're
bad of a
gonna
schedule,
need a
but
bye
it
week
is.
after that ass whooping we give them on week 5.
That's easily the
Yeah, because
that's the easiest schedule out of
they're
the
playing
three
a
so
Yeah,
far, for sure.
third place schedule.
Definitely.
You know, and right
yeah,
out of the
yeah.
gate,
The third
I
place
get
schedule.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get that
Yeah.
they play San Francisco, but first of all, they're playing them at home. First time they played a home game to start the season in like 8 years.
So Steelers, coach, are they going over
Yeah, they'll
8.5
go over
this
eight and a
season?
half. They'll go over 8.5. I don't know where they'll go with 8.5. They might just win 9 games. They might win 10. Who knows? But they'll go over 8.5. They went over 8.5 last year with freaking Mitch Trubisky starting at quarterback the first part of the year. You know, like when Pickett figured it out and they did ball control offense, they went 7-2, and they went from being, I think they were 4 games under 500, and all of a sudden they ended up 9-8. You know, so I think they'll go over 8.5.
Will, what you got them going over? Over or under?
I got them going over with that schedule, even though, look, Steelers are the most
Easily.
hated team in the AFC North. If you ask all three other teams, Steelers number one, we hate them the most. But out of respect for the organization and that coaching staff, they're going to go over 8.5, especially with that schedule.
Yeah. Neat.
They're gonna go over 8.5 just because Mike Tomlin knows how to win those type of games. So I'm not really too concerned with that. Honestly, that under is wild for that, and that's for anyone in our
Yeah.
division. Honestly,
I think everyone's going to have a winning record. Yeah. So I definitely got them going 9. Now, most slept team right now. Next, we're going to move our final team. We're going to talk about this Cleveland Browns. As we all know, Baker Mayfield got the boot a year and a half ago for Deshaun Watson, who actually had a 12-game suspension. One of the most underrated teams in this division, based off the fact that what they have and the talent that they have. Um, what are y'all thoughts about this this
we
Cleveland
said that
Brown
when they
team?
got Odell and Jarvis Landry. We said that when Baker Mayfield got drafted. We said that when they had a very good defensive draft. How many times are the Browns underrated? We just have to start saying that the Browns are the Browns. Like, they're supposed to be good, but they're just gonna let you down. That's just what they do.
They never develop.
Deshaun
I'm
Watson.
sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
No,
Deshaun
no,
Watson was good with the Texans, but like, what did he do? He's not coming in this division and doing that at all. So the Browns are still they're gonna win 8, but I don't see them as a threat anywhere.
You
yeah,
about to say,
I was going
Coach?
to say, when you talk about them, though, at least the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers maintain consistency. Okay, they've got a system in place that's helping them to continuously go forward. Yeah, you have a down cycle, but the Browns are always trying to change all the time. All the time they're trying to change. They don't try and develop. They don't try and work a system and build from that. Look at what they did. They went out and they ruined the quarterback market by giving all that money to a guy who, played what last year? 6 games? He's almost missed 2 full years of football. And when he came back, he wasn't like lights out. And you're right. You're right. Like he's
Yeah.
coming to a division where it's not going to be that easy like it was down in Texas. It really isn't. I
No,
mean, Okay, they got the kid from the Jets at receiver, and they got what's his name, Ngape, or whatever the hell his name is, at tight end. He's legit. They got Amari Cooper. Yeah, and
David
Njoku, yeah.
Njoku.
But like, I don't know. I will give you this, Chubb. I will tell you, just like we talked about a little bit, Chubb is legit. Nick Chubb is legit.
Yeah,
Amari Cooper too, though. Don't sleep on Amari Cooper.
they
There's
had him
some,
last year.
yeah,
What they do?
Ah,
there's something up with him that he's getting bounced like this around the league. From the Raiders to Dallas to Cleveland,
mm,
like
Yeah,
he
Amari
went from
Cooper.
the Raiders with Carr
mm.
to Dallas with Dak, and he did good down there. Now he's in the abyss. Like what's up with him that he gets bounced around?
True.
Yeah, I'll say this for the Browns that for an organization, ownership and management, I think, are a big cause of why they failed because they've had so many coaches. I mean, look at how many coaches they've come in, the drafts, Johnny Manziel, like these are just like attention seeking kind of thing. So I think with the right coaching staff, maybe, they could be taken serious, but they need to find the right guy. Deshaun Watson, again, he was playing in an easier division before, and whether he is still hungry for, that kind of competition, we'll see because the AFC North is definitely different. He got paid. Is he going to be the same guy? Is he still hungry? Does he want to win? And that's the thing that we need to find out because they do have the running back slot, best running back probably in the division. They do have solid defense. They bring in lots of people all the time in all these positions, even in receiver before, and it didn't work out for Odell and Jarvis Landry. But every year it's, oh, they're underrated or, oh, they're going to be sleepers. And every year, except for that one when they went to the playoffs, and I'll give it to them, went to the playoffs, beat Steelers. Okay, they did their thing. But was that just a blip? I mean, every year they're supposed to be this sleeper, dark horse kind of team, and they always fall flat. So, I mean, just like the other teams, all I gotta say is,
So let me give
but other than that,
my take because I feel like the Browns. Yes, I hear everything that you guys are saying. They continue to repeat. The Lions look like they are starting to be that team as well, having so much hype now and end up doing what they have. But I do feel like unlike previous, like I feel like they have pass rushers, they have good corners, they have a good safety, they got decent receivers, they have a solid quarterback who has to play. They got a solid, I mean, a top five running back. But we're gonna find out these first five games that they have. I'm about to read off their fucking schedule, and I'm looking at it right now. We're gonna find out pretty quick. Vegas right now has them at 8.5. Week one, they play home versus the Bengals. Week two, they are at Pittsburgh. Week three, they're home versus the Titans. Week four, they are home versus the Ravens, a bye week. Then they're at home versus the 49ers. That right there is a gauntlet to me already. Week seven, they're at the Colts. Week eight, they're at the Seahawks. Week nine, they're home versus the Cardinals. Week 10, they're at the Ravens. Week 11, they are home versus the Steelers. Week 12, they're at Denver. Week 13, they're at the Rams. Week 14, they are home versus the Jags. Week 15, they're home versus the Bears. Week 16, they're at the Texans. Week 17, they're home versus the Jets. And week 18, they are
At
at
the
the
Bengals,
Bengals.
week 17. That's an L.
honestly, I think that's a harder schedule than Pittsburgh's, though.
Yeah. And that's a hard schedule.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit, just a smidge, just a little bit harder than Pittsburgh's. But just like you said, that first going into the
Easily,
bye week, they could be 0-4,
easily.
and then they got San Francisco after that. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, they have a good little stretch down the back end, but I don't know. That's a tough first half of the schedule.
Yeah. Honestly, I think they're going to be under.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be
I,
under.
I would have to say under.
Yeah,
I
I'm a.
think they're definitely gonna be under.
I got them either at 8 or
That's where I got
7.
him 7. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got him at eight or seven. I don't see
Yeah,
them doing anything.
yeah.
I would like to know though, what does Vegas know that we don't know? Because they have all three of
Yeah,
Pittsburgh Ravens
what's going
and
on there?
Browns all at 8 point whatever.
It's
So
a it's a
But it's
tough
the
ass
Ravens,
division.
bro.
Well,
Like,
all
let's
right,
not
man. Well,
start
that
getting like
yeah,
disrespectful to the Ravens. Like, the only reason why
yeah,
we're
yeah,
not
yeah,
that
yeah.
talked about
it's
right
When
now
okay.
I
is
saw
because
that,
the Bengals then came up. But like,
It's okay.
we're there.
Now, hey, real quick, Daniel, just wanted to show this off. This is a company that they make these shorts. They make shorts now. They make it for every team. I bought them. Quality stuff. It's Chalkline. They have Steelers stuff. They have Ravens stuff. Check them out. They have Tampa Bay stuff
of
if
course,
you want to
you
rock
know I
that,
do.
Daniel. And now that Tom's gone, but Chalkline. Hey, check them out. They have quality
Yeah, I
stuff.
will. I will.
Man, I do.
Well, before we leave, I like
I
to
gotta
thank you
go.
guys for coming.
I'm sorry, man, but I appreciate you having me on,
Okay,
and I hope we get to
it's
revisit
cool.
this toward the end of the
Yeah, yeah,
season,
yeah.
just to see how things shook itself out. Nique, I'll be looking
Oh
for
yeah.
you, baby. I'll be looking for you.
I'll be right
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I will be right here.
Y'all be good. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. So yeah, he was literally sitting outside a Pittsburgh Pirates game for this podcast. So I really do, you know, appreciate him doing that. But thank y'all for coming on, man. I really do, definitely do appreciate it. Neat, I mean, both of y'all already know you guys are always welcome to come on. And we will see, man, because if you were to ask me right now who is winning the division, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I honestly would not be able to tell you. I would not, because I feel like it is like this is people overhype the NFC East, and they say that. I feel like the Bengals can win it. I feel like the Ravens can win it, and I feel like you don't want to sleep on the Steelers because they could sneak in if some things happen.
It's easily the toughest. And I think that's why when they look at that Vegas over and under, that's why they have them at 8, because even though the Browns are the Browns,
Yeah,
they're going to beat one of us, at least two of us, possibly. And that's just how it is because cold weather, hard fought, nasty, grind out games. And so,
And
it's definitely the toughest division.
that's the thing.
People were sleeping on the AFC North. They were saying, oh, it's going to be the AFC West last year. And look what the AFC West did. Trash.
Yeah. And that is true what you just said too. This is one of those divisions just like the NFC North where you're gonna have those rainy, snowy, windy
all of us are
games.
used to
This
it.
is that division all the way through.
We're not the issue. You got to sneak those. Like,
Can't
if
wait,
the
man. Well,
Jaguars play at the Browns late in the season, you can sneak that win because they're not used to that. But you got to depend on those late games, especially that one against the Bengals. You got to hope that they're
yeah,
already in the
Yep.
playoffs and
yeah.
already have one or two seeds if you're already in for the Browns right now. But on somebody's bench, you can sneak in somewhere. But I don't see the Browns doing
All right, y'all.
I would have preferred to play Tampa Bay this year, though.
Hey, don't talk about me. Hey, I saw when was the last time, hey Nick, how many Super Bowls have you actually watched
it. Two.
your team win in your lifetime? Two? I've seen two.
Oh, you
No, no,
wait,
no,
you
no,
seen
no.
two
I've
too?
seen two.
Oh, you seen two too?
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, 2-0, baby. 2-0. We're 2-0.
I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you.
When I play Madden, I take them all the way. I take them all the way. We
You put that shit
go.
on rookie mode, it's gonna work. All right, man. Well, this has been a great episode. Episode 109, Sports State of Mind, AFC North. We are out.